Imagine waking up tomorrow and every watch, phone, and clock on Earth suddenly disappeared. How would you know if you're late or if it's even morning? Believe it or not, for thousands of years, people had no watches at all, yet they still knew the time with surprising accuracy. So how did they do it? The first secret was the sun. Ancient Egyptians noticed that the sun moved across the sky in a predictable path every single day. They placed tall stone pillars called obelisks, and the moving shadow told them roughly what time it was. But what happened when clouds covered the sky or night arrived? That's where things became even more interesting. Some civilizations used water clocks, where water slowly dripped from one container into another. Others burned special candles marked with lines. As the candle melted, each mark showed that another hour had passed. In China and Japan, people even burned incense sticks with carefully measured burn times, letting the smell and smoke quietly measure the hours. But none of these methods worked perfectly. Wind could change a candle's flame, and a tiny leak could ruin a water clock. So how did sailors crossing giant oceans know the time? That mystery wasn't solved until much later with more accurate clocks. Before then, many people simply looked at nature. Farmers listened to roosters crowing before sunrise, watched flowers open with the morning light, and even followed the position of certain stars at night. Nature itself became their giant clock. The most amazing invention, however, was the sundial. As the sun moved, the shadow pointed to different marks carved into stone, helping people plan work, prayers, markets, and meetings. It wasn't perfect, but it changed history. Then, hundreds of years later, mechanical clocks appeared, followed by pocket watches, wristwatches, and finally, the smartphones we carry today. But here's the surprising part. If every modern clock suddenly stopped working, many ancient methods would still tell you the time well enough to survive. So the next time you check your watch, remember that for most of human history, people didn't wear time on their wrists. They found it in the sky, in fire, in water, and in the world around them. And that raises one fascinating question. If you had to live 1 week without any clock at all, do you think you could?